Hey guys, I'm back. Today's thing is about the other story. So, I'm going to explain one thing before I start with everything else. The elders. I want to explain how that works and how Leo works in there. As honestly, if you don't know about this, Leo's just a random character. He has no real thing, which will make more sense about what I'm saying later in the story. Because him and Garth are abnormally closer than the colonel and the general should be, but this will make sense. So basically, I did the elders, which is Kara Yukiari, Maka Storlark, Zanaki Stezovic, Shaolo Morkai, Kaio Blau, Gorske Ego, Nikolai Sheshka. It's Sheshka. I have to remember it's Sheshka. Anyway, and that's it. I based him off the rainbow. I was like 10 when I came up with this, so stick with me. I called them the Rainbows, so it wasn't as dorky. But it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. I know there's one extra one, but I wanted to put that in there because I had to find some place for Garth, and that's where he is. But it's fire, lava, earth, nature, earth, life, water, war, and then storm. I forgot air. I'm sorry, air. I don't like you. I don't like you, air. You make me. No, no, no. You're too cool. Anyway, anyway, um, basically the war just has. So how? To explain this? It's kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I want to say. They can control their element without question, unlike um, elemental benders, which is kind of like you have to have it there to use it. Like life is something completely different, and there's only one other character I ever came up with that could do anything with life, which basically she just took the life force out of you. So you're fucked if you're immortal. If you have no life force, you're not alive, and you can't function. You're just a shell. It's like taking out your soul. Anyway, um, but indigo, which is war, basically you just have abnormal amounts of strength and everything you need to fight hand-to-hand combat and with swords and shit, because I freaking hate guns. Guns make it so uncreative, in my opinion, because I have to come up with all these really cool weapons and stuff for this. And also, if they have all these really cool skills, why do you really need guns, is my question. That's kind of, yeah. So, I just, anyway, so when each of these Renbus has a child, they're picked, it's kind of like pure breeding dogs, I want to say, but people, not people, demons. They're demons. I'm sorry, I was not very creative about it. So when they have their child, their spouse is just like fucking murdered. They could, yeah, because they can't have more than one kid. Anyway, so what happened is Garth had his son after Leo was born, Killjoy, which I'll introduce him later in the story. But anyway, but before that, and it was before Kyra had her daughter Shay, whatever. Um, Garth and Kyra had Leo. This is a big spoiler because it's not a spoiler for a while, but still it's kind of a spoiler. So instead of telling everyone that Leo was their kid, so neither of them had no, they would have killed the child. Instead of killing the child, they gave him to one of their friends and they raised him. But when KO dies, which is the king, and he's the blue Renbu, and then when he dies, his son takes over, which I kind of stole the son's name from Final Fantasy. I'm sorry. Anyway, um, Garth's son, Killjoy dies. So they tell everyone that Leo is their son, and they can't really kill him per se because then it'd be kind of like we don't have an existing Indigo, and we'd have to go the freaking 1,000 years before he comes back or whatever. So I was just clarifying. I just wanted to explain that. And okay, I guess that can go on the sharks. Okay, so the sharks I created because I found it. Okay, let me explain this. The 13 realms, which this will make more sense when I'm talking about the seventh realm, the first realm, and when I name them off, you'll know which one's which if you remember this. It's demon, angel, wrench, blancs, land of beasts, aquatica, elemental summoners, humans, seventh realm, which is ours, two uninhabited, elf, two more uninhabited. So basically, what happened is the demon angels and the wrench blancs, which a wrench blanc is like, I want to say it's kind of like a superhuman race. I want to say it's like mutants in X-Men, which technically speaking, the that you're either there's two types of originally, but then they ended up getting polluted by everything else because they were such a fucking huge army. They took over everything and raped all the women, and that's ended up how all the new soldiers got messed up. So they just kind of overwhelm in numbers now instead of their original skills. So they're basically like fucking superhumans, basically. You were either like really big and really strong, or you were agile, and you were kind of like a mixture of May from Avatar and Logan from X-Men, and just kind of mash it together. They create their own weapons from their own body. That's basically what it is, and they can heal themselves almost immediately. And then the Land of Beasts, and then they created all these other things, or the other things lived in their realm, and they kind of got overpopulated, so they gave them their own place. Okay, the eighth realm, which is the seventh realm, prehistoria. So when the demons are more of the experimental types. They like to experiment with life, which they kind of got outlawed of doing that after they did the sharks, which I will explain. Um, which when they put humans in their world on the seventh realm, they were being like killed off by all the prehistoric crap. So they just took all the prehistoric crap and put them on their own realm. That's basically all it is. And the land of beasts is just, it's kind of, a lot of it's self-explanatory. Anyway, how this works out. Okay, vampires and werewolves were created in a test facility and they somehow got loose. I'm not really sure how it happened. And this is my own story, which is really bad for me to say. Anyway, so they started killing off everything. Not just humans, but everything. So, to combat that, they made the sharks. Which the name kind of makes sense, but I had to come up with an acronym because I always said it's an acronym for something. So I came up with Senseless Honed and Restricted Killers. Because they're basically computers. I know it's a dumb acronym, but still. Which, there's supposed to be 14. Whoops. Okay, I'll fix it later. I only have 13 written down, there's technically supposed to be 14. So they take them and they took them to a test facility, like when they made Logan and gave him his metal claws, the metal Wolverine claw things. Anyway. So, and they kind of just messed them up. They either killed some of the ones, so there's more than 14 who were put in the program. But the first 13 that were created, they didn't know where Hyrule was, which Hyrule is the last metal person, the weapon creators, and they didn't know where she was. So it came up to Amaya Shiverel, who's a demon, Rael Stellar, who is a angel, Hayden Stein, sorry, which is one of my favorite characters, Hyrule's brother. He's a wrench, which he's one of the big ones. Their family is royal, and they ended up staying like almost totally pure, but they were kind of like at the end of the bloodline because there are no more left without breeding with each other. And then it's Craig Fuar, who is a basilisk, or Craig Jar, who is a Finfolk. Which Finfolk, if you ever played Sukidan, it's like the dolphin people. Anyway. Oh no, Finfolk is actually if you look it up, it's actually a mythical creature. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. Harlequin Stondena, who's a summoner. I really like that character, and I actually have a storyline for him in the Seventh Realm, which he was captured by the angels and given to Hitler as his secret weapon. I know his secret weapon was a nuclear bomb, but I like playing with our history, and making it something like that. Anyway, and it's Hulk Carousel, who's human, Vari Duel, who's a summoner, Dea Norm, no, that. Some of these characters I've never even thought of. I was just thinking of fillers names and stuff, so I don't really. Nami Kyos, who's Succubus. Nami is a reference from my friend Holly. I'm sorry I made you a succubus, Holly! Anyway, and then it's Selene Kask, who is the elf that's left from she's Mari's sister. Julia Maurice, who is a vampire, and Hyra Stein. I don't know why I said that weird. Okay. Okay, so the first one, which I already said, these are plot ideas from shark stories when they end up in one of the further on in the story. In the books I'm writing, they ended up sharing stories from when they were first drafted or from their old stuff. Which the first one's World War II. Harlequin is his Hitler's secret weapon. Gate and the next one, number 2, which is there's a gate at Area 51. And that's why it's so heavily protected, because that's actually a GM facility. Um, Hitler went crazy because he had Harlequin, and GM made him go crazy. The Mayans went missing. I'm touching on the Mayans now. The Mayans went missing because they were finding how to make another gate because they wanted to leave without. They were actually semi-rich, and they didn't want to have to come all the way up the pennant everything to leave and go home. So they were trying to make another gate, and the calendar was actually the completion of the gate, not the end of the world, like some people think. And all diseases are population control because they were trying to because we're kind of like their petri dish with all their little germs and crap, except it's a fucking planet. Anyway, and then Alexander the Great, I ended up making him a wrench, which I will work that into something, and then I have a whole bunch of other stuff. And I made a whole bunch of characters from my friends, from my phone. I made my ex-boyfriend, one of the... Okay, so if you guys already know about Zai's brother, Zai, in the story I'm writing right now, this is actually for it, Zai's older brother ends up taking over, which I already said something about it. And then his right-hand man, Stoyan Grant, which I based off of my ex-boyfriend, he ends up getting killed by Leo. So yeah, I'm excited to write. I honestly I needed a filler character. I need a character for him that's a decent character person. I mean, I'd be blessed to be someone so freaking, yeah. But she has a thing for Zai. Well, oh yeah, I forgot to explain about my Olympias. My Olympias. I forgot what realm they're in. I think they're in the, what is it, like 5th realm, which is the elementals, if I remember right. You can correct me if you want to. Anyway. My Olympias. I ended up writing this storyline in because I wanted a character for some of my friends. So, they all have most of them have the last name Greek. But it's Liam, who is Zeus, Aphri, who is Aphrodite. I remember Selene originally being one of them, but I ended up changing her because I needed an extra character. But anyway, I only have 30 seconds left. So if you tell me what you think, and if you want to hear more from the story, just comment below. Love you guys. Bye.